basically we've kept everything from level 1 upwards, and we've replaced all the curtain walling at the ground floor and the entrances, and then we did a Cat A refurb on all the other floors, and then we built roof terraces on the roof as well. So the main driver for the project was to retain as much as possible in terms of the M&E. Hi Paul. So yeah, that was the main driver for the project, and what we did is just strip it of its kind of corporate layers. UBS Bank had been in here for nearly sort of 25 years.
Incredibly difficult constraints because we've got Crossrail outside, we've got the station opposite, we're on top of a bus station, we've got the gyratory for Broadgate underneath, and we also have network rail on the lower ground floor with all the shop units, which had to stay in occupation during construction. So building wise, very, very difficult. Design wise, also incredibly difficult. All the levels around the site are quite complicated, and we had the Richard Serra sculpture, which wasn't at really a ground level or a first floor level. So we lowered that during the course of the project, which is a massive engineering undertaking, and we worked around the other constraints. We were very fortunate on this project that there were very good engineering records from this building, and it had a very heavy facade on it. So by removing the heavy facade, we could augment the floor area considerably by adding about 40% more NIA on the project, keeping approximately 50% of the existing structure, 100% of the substructure. The brief from British Land to us was to get a lot more area on the site, and the design evolved to have this fantastic atrium in the building during stage 2 and 3, and to add more retailing. So we've gone from 1 floor of retail to 2 floors in the mall as well, which is, I think, very dynamic and exciting on the outside. We're working with AKT, existing building, retained structure, new structure. And the weight issue allowed us to sort of smooth out the plan and get a lot more curvilinear form and add a lot of square meters just in those little recesses. We also added 3 floors on top of the building, which got us up our area.
Hangers that are supporting this edge, and you'll see from some of the, when we go into the residential apartments, that the idea was to have a glass-to-glass corner. And there's a sort of a service link between the tower and the Devonshire Road part.
How many people are interested in plant rooms and plant space, but I am, so we'll have a quick look at the plant at the top, because there's a bit of a story there about the building. Then basically down to level 2 and then out through the retail unit, which is like the more informal entrance and exit through the building. And then for the cyclists down into the cycle, that goes right out to the boundary, and basically sort of the ellipse comes to, this is the narrowest floor, about 7.5 metres on these sides, with 12 metres at the end around the central core. And basically it then sort of the belly, as I say, is at about level 10, and then basically down, building pulls in, so we've got more public realm space down at the bottom of the building. And that was obviously part of the deal with the city, to get a bit of public realm space to allow us to go higher. And then the overall height of the building is limited by basically a protected view from the north bastion on Tower Bridge, looking out over the Tower of London. So we sit just behind the White Tower.
runs through for trading floors at levels 1 and above, and we'll go on the roof of that later. And then the development does also include 16 St Helens Place, which was a retained facade on St Helens Place, with a new facade facing the public realm. We're going to focus on the tower as part of our visit, but you will see all the buildings as we go around on the outside at the end of the tour.
Focus on how can you change the perception of buildings so that they're interesting, thoughtful, caring, uplifting, even fun. We are only allowed to offer people a coffee and a bun. Free ticketing gives you a 45-minute slot. Very simple, very clean.
Pulls it back so that you can't see this building on that route along Fleet Street. And so it's those pieces that came together to create the form. And then we looked very hard about the top, and it felt really important to us that this became a sort of holistic form. So we did extend the top up to the point. And so there's 10 floors above us, which is all the plants. So all the heat rejection is sort of crammed into this triangular space at the top of the building.
The sort of main move that we wanted to do was to try and create a much more animated experience for occupiers in the lower part of the building, and bring a lot of accessibility and amenity spaces in front of the secure line. So a lot of that was involved of taking what was in a way traditional net space out of the plan, creating a 3-story volume here, which we'll show you, with stairs up to the first, down to the lower ground, bringing cafe spaces into the ground floor, both at ground, and then we've also got some event spaces at the lower ground, and then a big flexible workspace offering that will ultimately serve from lower ground through to second.
The intention is that it will be used for gatherings. People can also come and work here, and we can actually put a projector and potentially put a screen up, so you can actually run things. You can run lectures from down there. And the space runs all the way through underneath, so it's intended to be a multifunctional space.
In terms of the floor plan, it was really quite simple, and slightly offset central core, and we built 18 metres, 15 metres and 11 metres, so there was a depth of space. The building really relates to its different contexts. You've got the great Fishmonger's Hall in front, which is a building I particularly like. You've got I call it House of Fraser at the end. And so we decided to design the facade to sort of be omnipresent, if I can call it that. So it wraps, it's a wrapper around the site. We decided to use faience, and we decided to slightly incline the faience because you get quite a nice shadowing effect, and you get these quite nice abstract patterns. It also gives some shading to the building.